I I don't know what to say. The New York Knicks have won 13 straight playoff games. The New York Knicks have won 2 straight games in the NBA Finals away from home in San Antonio. I just, like, this team was not expected to go this far. This team was not expected to even be in the conversation to make the finals at the start of this year. And they're about to win an NBA championship. Because, to be completely honest, like, it might change in the near future. But I don't see a world where they drop 2 straight games at the Garden. And either way, you win one of these next 2 games at the Garden, you're either 3-1 up or you're 3-0 up. There's so much to go through. Karl Anthony Towns, once again. At this rate, Karl Anthony Towns is going to be the Finals MVP. And I'm pretty sure, I don't know the statistics, but I'm pretty sure 90% of the population probably put Jalen Brunson if you're backing a New York Knicks player. Because Karl Anthony Towns once again came out today and did it on both sides of the basketball. They were consistent. The whole New York Knicks team, like 1 through 8, were just consistent enough to stay in this game. And all you need to do in road playoff games is just keep yourself hanging around and keep yourself in the running for long enough until the other team either breaks down or they blow you out. It's how it happens with road playoff games. If you're in a position to where 2 minutes to go, you can force the Spurs to make brain-dead turnovers in that last 2 minutes like they did. You're in a position to be able to strike and take that win. That's the type of win it was for the Knicks today. They just hung around long enough. There was enough scoring from Mikal Bridges, who played an amazing game of basketball today on both sides of the floor. Karl Anthony Towns, I've already mentioned. Jalen Brunson, it was not Jalen Brunson's best shooting performance. There has been many, many, many better games for Jalen Brunson in his career and in his playoff career. But that shot with 40 seconds left in the game changes the entire course of the game. The dude is 6'1" and has 3 different defenders on him and still finds a way to put it in the bucket with a little step back fade away, even though the entire roster of the San Antonio Spurs probably knew who was going to shoot the damn basketball. Wow. I mean, I picked the Knicks at the start of the series, but I also said the Knicks were going to win in the 7th game. You obviously don't go too far into it, but did I ever expect, ever, that the Spurs were going to drop both home playoff games? No. Not in a minute. Like, obviously the experience, and there was a couple of turnovers that is said to come from that experience, because there is some times throughout these 2 games especially, like it didn't happen as much in the OKC series, which was strange, or they were able to mask it just a little bit better. There is moments in these games where New York is the more experienced basketball team than the San Antonio Spurs. And I think every single person watching the basketball game can realize that. That turnover that Wemby threw with 15 seconds left in the game, that obviously is going to be one of the biggest talking points of this entire game, and all the talking heads will be getting on the microphones in the morning talking about it. But that is an inexperienced turnover. Victor Wembanyama grabs that rebound. You have a timeout to spare. If you want to take that timeout, it's probably more obliged than your 7'4" center dribbling the ball up the court. We know how gifted Wemby is, and we know how talented he is, and he is in 95% of cases able to dribble that basketball up the floor and get them in some sort of set. But it's 15 seconds left in a crucial game 2 in front of your home fans. People are going nuts. People are all over the floor. There is no control in that last 15 seconds of the game. Stefan Castle is trying to get his ass up the other end of the floor because he expects that's where it's going. And Wemby being slightly underdone on the playmaking side of things has made that bonehead turnover. And it immediately reflects like he was not going to be able to stop his momentum running forward straight into Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson in this play was literally just at the right place at the right time, was more vigilant than 8 of the other people that were on the court. Because as soon as it came off his back, Jalen Brunson was the first man to the ball. And it fell in his hands, gets pushed over, 2 shots, makes 1, and it was enough. Because if you're also Vic at the end of this game, that is a good jump shot for you. Obviously, Mitchell Robinson did as well of a contest as he could. But if you're Victor Wembanyama, that is just a shot that you take, and if you make it, you make it. If you miss it, you miss it. Because I'm sure he will be going to his training session tomorrow, and he will be shooting 1 million of those shots, and he'll probably make 90% of them. It's just one of those shots that he is able to make because he's the tallest dude on the floor. No one is realistically going to block Victor Wembanyama's shot. But he just hit the back rim and came out. It's a game of margins basketball, and that's why it is so close in so many instances like this. It's just a tough blow for the Spurs. It is a really tough pill to swallow, and being that slightly inexperienced team, as I spoke about, how were they able to react in Game 3 in the Garden, away from their home fans, with next to no support around them? We know Knicks fans travel, but I don't think the Spurs have travelled that well this postseason. And how is that inexperience going to take you in one of the biggest stadiums in all of America in the Madison Square Garden? That is one of the biggest concerns I have for this squad right now. I've said it so many times. I just don't think they're quite there yet. And it is coming into fruition more and more as this playoff series goes on, and it shows it to us. And Stefan Castle gets into foul trouble early in this game once again, and it hurts them. And if I am Coach Mitch Johnson, coaching Game 3, this is just me. I might not know anything compared to what Mitch Johnson's got cooking up over there. But if I'm Mitch Johnson, cut the Keldon Johnson minutes because they were bad once again. Get rid of them. I don't want to see Keldon Johnson on the floor. I don't want to see Carter Bryant on the floor at all, and I don't want to see Harrison Barnes on the court at all. I want a 7-man rotation from the San Antonio Spurs. I want Luke Cornett coming off the bench in little spurts, as he always have. I think his minutes are dwindling down. Like, Wemby is playing more and more minutes as these games go on. But I need Luke Cornett to come in very small bursts just to get Wemby some rest. Maybe 90 seconds a quarter. Maybe that. Maybe 2 minutes, depending on how it's going, how the game's tracking. And I want to see Dylan Harper off the bench because Dylan Harper, realistically, through 2 games, you could make the case that Dylan Harper has been their best player. That is a serious case that's going on with the Spurs right now because, as I said, Karl-Anthony Towns has just... he has done what so many people never thought was possible to defend Victor Wembanyama to this degree. Obviously, there is moments from the Spurs where they are struggling to get Victor Wembanyama looks. They're struggling to get him in spots where he is able to more freely score the ball. But a lot of that goes to the testament of Karl-Anthony Towns and Mitchell Robinson off the bench. Mitchell Robinson's got 4 fingers at the moment on one hand, and he's still playing elite basketball. The dude is still getting on the glass. He's rebounding the ball. He's staying in front. He's not playing enough that the hacker Mitch is able to come into play, but he is playing enough to heavily impact the minutes that he is on the floor in these games. Landry Shamet is just continuing to awe me game going by. He not only is a great defender all of a sudden, he's also... you know what shooting you're going to get from Landry Shamet, but in the same vein, this defense has just come out of nowhere, and it is so ridiculously impactful. It's insane. Wow. Does Karl Anthony Towns win the finals MVP? Because the storyline and the narrative and the Jalen Brunson's the best Nick ever and this and that and everything else, the narrative obviously leans so heavily towards Jalen Brunson. But do we end up having like an Andre Iguodala year? Do we end up having like a Tony Parker year where it's not the undisputed best player on the team winning the finals MVP award? Because that is how impactful Karl Anthony Towns genuinely has been for this roster through 2 games. Crazy conversation. I mean, like, we will know a lot more after Game 3, and Game 3 is the be-all and end-all for the Spurs. You do not win Game 3, the series is over. It is as simple as that. Do I think I'm getting the brooms out for the New York Knicks? Absolutely not. It is way too early to write such a young and hungry team like the Spurs off at this current moment. But it just, like, this team's damn good. And I don't know how none of the media or me or literally anybody that watches the sport of NBA basketball, none of us picked the New York Knicks. None of us saw the New York Knicks as serious. I mean, Stephen A probably did because the dude has been a diehard fan forever and ever and ever. But these dudes come off 10 days break and win away from home by 10 points and then win again 2 days later. They just can't not win at the moment. Josh Hart was awful today. And he's one of the key rotational guys for them. Didn't matter. Miles McBride came off the bench and scored points. Landry Shamet, who I just mentioned. These guys were able to fill in the blanks. And that, I think, we have underestimated as a New York Knicks team. I think probably, if you were to go back to my early prediction videos, there is probably something there of me saying that the Knicks just don't have enough of a bench. And how wrong I genuinely was, because I always knew Mitchell Robinson's a great basketballer when he's healthy. But I just did not take Landry Shamet into account. I did not take Miles McBride into account. The mid-season acquisition of Jose Alvarado I thought was just a nothing deal for Dalen Terry and some picks or whatever it was. And the Jose Alvarado minutes so far this series have actually been really good. Like, he's not the most impactful player in the entire court, but he's just going to do little things like there was a hard foul that he committed today that was just a good playoff hard foul. He is able to get a steal every now and again that changes the momentum of games. Like, my guy was rotting on the Pelicans at the start of the season. Like, we knew the Pelicans by about Game 5 or Game 6 that they were not going to go anywhere this year. And Jose Alvarado was probably looking for places to go on holidays at the end of the season. And now he's playing impactful minutes in the biggest games of basketball in the entire calendar. Wow. New York really might put a banner up. And New York, I mean, I haven't really expressed it too much, but I'm going to be in New York at the end of the year and I might actually see a banner hanging from the rafters that says 2026. That's just insane, man. Mikal Bridges worth every first round pick that they gave up for him. Jalen Brunson, give him the keys to the city at this point. Like, wow. I'm not going to overreact too much until Game 3 is done. Once Game 3 is done, then we might actually be talking about ways the Spurs can make their way back into the series. But it just, things seem too good for the Spurs, for the Knicks right now. They genuinely just do. And it just feels like it's that time for them. Craziness. Absolute craziness. Wow. Anyway, that's pretty much all I've got for you guys today. I apologize it is a few hours late, but we are there and yeah, we got it out. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed the content and I'm enjoying everything that's going on. Liking and subscribing, even considering that would be amazing. Thank you guys even for tuning in. Every single view I get is absolutely amazing for me, and I appreciate you all for it. Yeah, I will see you guys in a few days' time in day 3. I might be able to try and get some content out, but as an NBA world, I feel like we're so locked in on the finals series that I really just don't know what else to speak about at the moment. So I might do a couple of little other breakdowns from this game that was been, but outside of that, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in a few days' time for game 3, and yeah, I'll talk to you then. Thank you guys.